Dadgummit, I got this insurance bill again and I don't understand it. Look at these discounts. They're not what I thought they were going to be.
Did you pay attention to Angel and Jay when they were on the show last
I don't understand all this stuff.
Sorry. Well, guess what? You're in luck because they're back. Woo! Yay! Yay!
Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Horvath, and this is Moving Forward TV with your local market update.
And I am Delynn Gaston. Thank you for joining us today, and we are so excited.
Yes, clearly I was really excited because I hit you again.
Just loves doing that.
I do.
Trust me, I will get even. You guys all know that already.
Did I mention that was my bad shoulder?
I hit harder.
It could be worse. You know what could be worse?
Welcome back.
If we had a frog running around here.
Oh, stop.
We would all scatter and run.
Nothing's a secret around here.
Oh, that was
and
a secret?
I would still beat you all out.
Yes, you can.
Right
I'd be
here.
careful, you know.
All right, so we have some guests back again. Back by popular demand.
Popular demand.
Because, you know, and this is a true story. I looked at this insurance bill. I had no clue what it was about. So we're going to learn more.
Because you don't pay attention. See, I take notes. You don't.
I could. I think my brain functions very well, thank you, for a man of my gender and age.
But
Gender? No, that doesn't make sense.
You gotta love how
he's
you're
your friend.
I know. Don't break up with me. I know my gender, okay? I'm very in touch with my male side of me.
This is taking another direction.
Your male
I
side.
know. So, hey.
So anyway, we have guests. We have Angel Cook, the former queen from Leaders Insurance.
Now we have to say former.
And we have Jay Smith back from Snoop Inspection.
Snoop Dogg.
Well, he's not Snoop Dogg.
You know, we had
But we do call him Snoop Dogg.
We really did have a lot of reaction to the show, and you guys got so like we were talking before we knew it. We ran out of time. I mean, it really goes fast. There's so much to cover, and I'm so glad that you guys agreed to come back again.
Plus, they're smarter than us.
Because they're way smarter than us. And you know, that's the whole thing. You know, you're right. I don't understand the whole insurance thing and everything. But thank God I can go, Ange, what does this mean? You know, Jay, what does this mean on this home inspection?
Call a professional. That's
what it means. And that's why we're glad to have you guys. So thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having us back.
So anyway, we're all about saving our people and our viewers money.
Right.
And we have some tips today that are absolutely going to help them. We're going to go into more detail on wind mitigation, how it can benefit you.
Right.
You know, Jay's an expert in that. You were in construction, weren't you?
I was GC at one time.
Were you really?
Oh, wow. Very good. No wonder
is
you
that
know all this
business?
stuff.
They're all busy, but I'll leave that all to them. I enjoy inspecting now.
Yeah. Do you? You like looking after them?
Yeah, actually, that's very true.
Yeah.
We're looking behind them and checking it out, even the new construction.
And one of the things, you know, I tell all of my clients as well, you know, home inspections are not a requirement, but I do highly recommend them. And I would imagine, Jay, you see a lot of stuff that you probably saved. You talk about saving them money, not only on their insurance, but saving them from some maybe disastrous things, or giving them a heads up.
And it's a tool to go back and negotiate sometimes if you find that something's not quite right. So that's a big part of our job out there, is to keep you informed on what you're buying.
All right, so let's go back to the beginning of time for people who didn't watch our first show. No, we don't want to go back that far.
No.
We went back as far as the frogs. That's as far as we go this week, okay? I'm sorry, Angel.
All right,
Take a break.
we
Sorry.
have to explain this a little bit.
All right, so let's talk about the process. You get pre-qualified,
Right.
okay? And of course, like we said, we guess at insurance. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, the final numbers, but we do a round guesstimate. So we encourage our buyers, once they're pre-qualified, to get a quote from an insurance professional. And the rates are determined by the home itself, right? The property bears, of course, the buyer does. Their credit score can impact
That's right.
them.
It can impact them, absolutely, and it can impact them as far as qualifications for a certain company. But that is more of a I don't want to say rare, but not as large.
And we've seen the gaps between having that wind mitigation
Absolutely.
and not. So,
Yes.
you know, when people say, what's my final payment? What's my final payment? We don't know that, you know.
No.
And you know what's so funny? And we talk about this all the time. People are like, what's my rate?
Yeah, that's not the right question.
And it's really not, what is my overall payment going to be? Because we have to take into consideration the
Right.
rate, if there's MI or PMI insurance on it, what are the taxes, and of course, what is the insurance?
right.
And
And that can swing a payment,
That
high or low.
much higher,
And
a
the
huge
things,
difference.
Things that are going to swing that are age of the house, how close to a fire hydrant, what type of roof it has, all of those factors, in addition to the person's credit rating and things like that, right, Angel?
That's right.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny too, because people will get all upset about an eighth of an interest rate that changed their payment by 42 cents a month. And they could save $600 a year, which is $50 a month, by simply having a wind mitigation. Am I
Right.
wrong here?
You are not wrong.
Okay.
And I will tell you, I get a lot of people that will say they're not going to get the wind mitigation, and I will give them quotes going, you know, if the home qualifies for this discount, this discount, and this one, this is how much it would save you. Yes, you have to put the money up front to pay for the inspection, but you're going to get it back 3 times or 4 times or sometimes
Right.
more, depending on the discount. But because I cannot guarantee if the home will qualify for that, they just won't risk it. But yet they'll try to save a few cents here or a few cents there. It's really crazy. I try to be very realistic. I've seen enough of the inspections come across. I can gauge fairly accurately if the home is going to be worth the wind mitigation inspection. And most inspectors, when they're doing their home inspection or 4-point inspection, will say, I see some indicators that this wind mitigation could help. Now, you have to have a good inspector. I have had clients say, well, my inspector said to get it and then I didn't get any discounts. Or, you know, my inspector promised a percentage of discounts and I didn't get it. Well, no one can promise. They're not insurance agents. They don't know the rates, but they do know the different, better quality construction and if it's going to qualify for something.
I have a question, mostly for Jay. So we talk about all these discounts. Can you give us a little more detail? What is a wind mitigation?
Well, the wind mitigation itself is a state form 1802, if you ever want to look it up online.
Is that like a
And we
1003?
have it here, and we will. Yes.
So,
But there's 7 sections to this report. And all this is the report, and it states what you have in your home. It's not a pass-fail. We're just telling the insurance companies what this house is built like.
so what is on this form? I mean, I see the form here. What are you looking for when you go out? What's the process for you to do
Well,
this?
a little bit more on the 7 sections. Really, the first section of the form is about when the house was built. And we talked about last time that March 1st of 2002 is the big date of codes changes in Florida. Of course, we've had more changes since then, but March 1st of 2002 was the biggest change we had in the whole state. So anything built newer than that or permitted newer than that, not necessarily built, because if you were permitted earlier, you go by the old codes, but permitted since March 1st, 2002, that's actually a different type of house in the eyes of insurance. So you get a little bit better rate on a newer home. Now, there can be some upgrades to your older homes. Like you get into the next section, and it's about the roof itself. Well, of course, if you're 2002 or new, you know you got a new roof on there, that's when it was done. But if you get older than that, say a 1980 house, well, it's had more than one roof on it. So it's when that roof was built or when it was reinstalled on the house. It could have been 2005, 2010, and that'll now go by the 2002 codes compared to the 1980 house. So that's a potential discount on your insurance. And that's section number 2.
All right, we got 5 more sections to cover.
Yep.
But before we do, we got more tips coming up right after this on how to protect your biggest investment and maybe how to save you some more money right after this. All right, we're back with Miss Angel Cook from Leaders Insurance and Mr. Jay Smith from Snoop Inspections, giving us some great, valuable information on how to save money and, of course, protecting your single largest investment.
So some of the questions that had come across was about the windows and such. So, I've been to the home shows. A lot of people out there are selling these windows that cost a fortune.
Yes, they do.
That like a tree can't go through or whatever. And they say, oh, and you get insurance discounts. Ange, what'd you just tell me?
Replace your windows and doors and garage doors simply based on upgrading your house and keeping your house safe from the storms in Florida. The insurance discounts on the wind mitigation.
Like a true politician there, huh? Did you hear the way she's so careful how she structured her words.
Yes, because you will be disappointed in your discounts. It is a very, very small discount. In addition to that, it's very rare that anybody qualifies for it. To be able to qualify for the wind discount for your opening protections, every single opening protection must be the Miami-Dade County Code wind speed. And meaning that most of the time, the biggest thing that they leave off, homeowners leave off, is that side door to the garage. So they'll spend thousands of dollars replacing their windows, their sliding glass doors, even their skylights, their garage door, and they will not replace that side door because that doesn't really use it. It's protected because there's another house, your neighbor's house, the window is small, whatever reason it is that they don't do it. Well, guess what? 0 discounts now.
Knocks you out of the whole thing.
That one opening will knock it out. It's got to be every single opening of the house.
Have you noticed on the newer construction houses, you may know more about this, Jay, but they don't put that side door now.
Well, there's 2 reasons for it. Number one, the door needing to be ready for the storms, and number 2, the frames always rot out, so they don't want to mess with those doors or get that phone call just a couple of years in. Why is my door rotting?
Why do those doors always rot out? You're right, they do.
They don't paint them properly, to be honest with you.
That's so funny.
Isn't that funny?
So the garage door opener companies are making more business out because people are using that.
Yep, exactly.
The front door, so.
That's your way in and out now.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, Angel.
All right, back to wind mitigation.
Yeah, wind mitigation. Yes. So, Jay, what does it typically cost? You're out doing an inspection, and what does it typically cost, and how much time does it add to your inspection?
Well, of course, wind mitigation will vary from company to company as far as how much they charge. But my company charges $75 to do a wind mitigation, and right at the bottom of the form, it'll tell you that wind mitigation is good for 5 years. Now, if you make other changes to the house, like you put a new roof on in 2 years, you would want to redo your wind mitigation at that point.
Okay, so for $75,
you can find out if you have any discounts.
Okay, and then Angel, from an insurance perspective, what have you seen? I know it's going to vary by property and location, and but what do you typically, what can people expect to see? What have you seen? What's the best and what's the worst?
Well, the worst is when you're kind of let down because of the clips discount or the nails. So sometimes, and thankfully not very often, but this is worst case scenario, if I'm doing an insurance quote and I find out that they have a newer roof, again, that March 1st, 2002 and newer, which I can look at the permits and see. And so then I, in my head, go, okay, they're going to receive the first discount, Florida Building Code. I see the permit on there. The inspector is going to look for that permit to be able to give that discount. So they're going to get that. That saves them about $70 to $90 right there. So that is going to pay for their wind mitigation inspection.
Okay.
And again, remember, Jay said, stays on for 5 years.
Right.
So that right there, I feel comfortable telling them, make sure that you get this inspection. The second thing I go to is, well, they should have the better nails, meaning how they attach the shingles, what size nail, and how close together the roofer puts it. Typically, a roofer will go at least to that very first discount. So they won't do the bare minimum. They'll go to that next discount. So typically, I will do the quote with that first discount. Now, they can do even better nails, which is even better, longer, wider nails, even closer together. That's the maximum nail discount. I don't typically give that without seeing the wind mitigation. That discount, going just that first level discount, is going to be another $85 to $90 discount. Then you get into your clips and single wraps, where you have to have it's attached, the trusses.
This is how your rafters or your trusses are attached to the wall of the house. And that's where you have your uplift. They don't want the whole roof to be lifting off the house. So that's where the difference is.
Okay.
Believe it or not, there was actually builders that were doing what they call a single wrap. And that's a metal bracket that's coming out of the top of the wall, out of the concrete, and going over the rafter as early as the late 60s. Now, it wasn't actually code until more recently, near the 2002 time period, is when really it became more of a code.
And they have to do it now.
It's the norm now.
Okay. And that is your largest discount, aside from your roof shape, which you cannot change. It is what it is. But that's going to be, your clips or single wraps is going to be the largest discount. Okay. And that's going to save, I mean, it could save hundreds, that discount, depending on the home.
And these discounts you're talking about. And first of all, I got to tell you, Angel, I'm impressed. Like, you know, you're an insurance person. You know about construction too. You know about nails. You know about clips. And you're like,
well, you have to be able to explain, because say, you know, Jay sends me the inspection, and this is what I hear from the clients. They'll call and go, "Oh, you got the inspection, right? My inspector said that I qualified for everything." Or they like to hear what they like to hear, and they'll say,
"Look at Jay giggling."
Oh yeah.
Because Jay won't do that, but I will tell you, I have inspectors that will tell my clients, "Oh, it's great. You're gonna have no problem. You got all the discounts." No, you did not. And so, because I partner with business professionals, I can say, "Jay, explain to me why they didn't get it, because they don't understand, and I need to be able to explain to them." So, and then these wind mitigations come over with pictures. So I do like to educate my clients, and I like for them to know that I'm not just, you know, insurance agents have a bad rap. So I'm not just trying to get more money out of them. They need to understand why they didn't qualify and why the inspector had to check that box. So I study the pictures, I pay attention. I have good inspectors that say, "No, Angel, look, this is why." And they'll send that color picture and point it out to me so that I can explain to my clients in a better way why it did or did not help their insurance policy.
And here's the interesting part. I mean, prior to 1970, all of your attachments were very similar. There really wasn't a big change. But during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you could actually have any one of the types of attachments to the roof. It could be just a toenail, it could be a clip, it could be a single wrap.
a toenail?
The toenail is literally just
Like,
I
know about construction.
yeah, we have those in your house.
Yeah.
The toenail. A toenail attachment is just considered
Only
two nails
right, Angel?
to hold down your roof, and that's literally all they've put in is two nails within the framing to hold down the rafter to the walls, and that's what way it was done really prior to 1970.
interesting.
Now let me ask a real quick question.
no.
Now I know we got to go to break. I know, but while we're on that two nail thing, if they went and just added another nail,
It makes a difference.
it does make a difference.
Yes.
Okay, so not replace a whole new roof, but just went to the existing roof and added another nail.
Yes.
They can get a discount. Okay,
You're
cool.
so smart, Delynn.
I'm looking for ways to save people money.
Yep. And we're going to show you more ways to save money right after this.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Okay, we're back with Jay and Angel and more money saving ideas. And let's not waste any time because we're running out of time.
We were just talking during the break about all kinds of interesting things. Why don't you guys share with our audience what we were...
Well, one thing I'd like to talk about real quick is when you were talking about roof attachments and only having the two nails, and
Right.
you mentioned it right before. There is ways to upgrade, and there are companies out there. Typically, it's not your roofer. There's separate contractors. If you were to even just do a Google search or even call us, that we can refer you a company that will add a third nail so you will have that potential discount.
That's fantastic. I had no idea on that. So that's really good. So even if they're buying a house, we can maybe after the fact, and maybe they can get discounts after, correct? Good,
Yes,
good,
they
good.
can.
Okay, great.
Now, there's
Good to
two
know.
more sections to the report.
Yes.
And one of them is about the style of roof that you have.
Okay.
Now, many of the houses that have been built through the years have what they call as a gable, where you've got a great big triangle either on the sides or on the front of your house. That's a gable roof, and it actually doesn't give you any discounts on your insurance.
Okay.
Now, you'll notice in your newer neighborhoods, you're going to have what's called a hip roof, and that actually brings the roof up to a pyramid. I mean, if you think of the old pyramids, that's the style of roof that gets you a discount. And the whole premise of it, from a wind standpoint, they feel like the winds will flow over the roof better than if you've got that great big triangle, either in the front or side or anything like
Okay.
that. So that's another potential discount that you may not be getting.
And that is a very large discount. That
That's
is
the big key one.
largest discount.
There you
Yes.
go.
All right, so
Now the unfortunate thing is there is nothing you can do about it. You either have it or you don't. You cannot
And that's
alter
it.
it.
So-
And they have gotten more strict on what qualifies a hip roof.
Okay.
So when Jay goes out to look, he actually has to, if there's just a small gable, what they call like a decorative gable, he will measure. And it can only be, there is a certain amount of feet on that same wall before they lose that discount.
10% of your house. Basically, if you have, say, 200 running feet around the perimeter of your house,
Okay.
you cannot have more than 20 feet, actually really 19.
Right.
You'd rather be below that 19 feet of gable. The rest of it has to all be hip to qualify as a hip roof.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of houses that look like a pyramid, though. I mean, most houses, it just kind of
Believe it
goes
or
like
not,
this,
there's
which is
more
the
than you
gable.
think.
Where? Because I haven't seen them.
Well, the difference is it can be a hip that's got multiple hips coming off of it. You're not necessarily seeing one big pyramid.
Okay.
You could have the main pyramid and then a secondary pyramid, and it kind of throws you off that you're not thinking of the
That's what I'm
exact-
saying. Okay, so the houses that have like this, and then like maybe on the end, it's just like a little tiny. Are those?
Depends on the footages. It all comes down to that
Okay.
10%. That's where it is.
what about flat roofs?
Flat roofs will kick you
Yeah,
out.
look at Angel's face on that one.
The old houses that have the flat roof lanais out back, I tell you what, 9 times out of 10, that throws you out of a hip design.
Yes.
You could have a hip on the whole rest of the roof, and just because of that lanai roof, you're no longer a hip.
Wow.
Yes.
Seemed like a great idea in the 70s, didn't it?
So another
Exactly.
thing right there. Now, Jay, we were saying, some of the good home inspectors, Angel, you were mentioning, they're going to tell you, you know what, you're not going to get a discount.
I can
because-
pretty much look at a house before I even walk around and see how big
And
the
know.
gables are and have an idea whether you're close or you're not even close.
And it's very rare that I will ever quote a hip roof discount without seeing that wind mitigation. I have been, you can go, some property appraisers, like Pasco County Property Appraisers, has a great aerial view. And I always look at the aerial view because you can see that pyramid clear as day from that. But most of the other property appraiser websites, you cannot get that good view. However, even then, the minute I see a lanai, one thing about the aerial view also is you cannot see the decorative gables, and it really does depend on where that is versus the feet around. So typically, I will not estimate with a hip roof discount. It is
Right.
just anything will throw it off, and it is a large discount. And I mean, I have had people save $1,200.
Whoa.
Those older homes,
Wow.
if they qualify for a hip roof discount, remember, the discounts come off of the wind portion of your premium. So if you're paying $2,000 for an insurance policy, but out of that $2,000, $900 of it is wind premium, that's where your percentage is. It's not off of the whole $2,000, it's off of the wind. So that hip roof discount can make a huge difference.
Wow.
So we got to wrap up. Is there anything else? Any other tips?
Yes.
One last
You
little
guys wanna
section
give-
of it, and that's the secondary water resistor. The
That's that
SWR, and that is underneath of your shingles. When they put a new roof on, they can put a different membrane. Instead of regular felt paper, this is actually what nickname is peel and stick. They'll actually take the back of it off and it sticks to your plywood. That's another potential discount. So if you're replacing your roof, find out what SWR means. You want to
And
know.
I'm sure your roof
And
would
again-
charge more for that,
Yes.
but it's worth it,
It
right?
is worth it, and it's not a huge discount, but again, you're still looking at somewhere between the $60 to $80 range discount. And it's a great protection barrier. So if you're having a new roof put on, it is not a big jump to have the roofer put that on in cost difference. And it is well worth it.
Real quick with your roofers, make sure it's not a secondary barrier. It needs to be a secondary resistor.
Wow.
That R&B is a big deal. The resistor gets you a discount, a barrier does not.
All right, one last quick question, and we got to wrap up here. Okay. Those discounts, Angel, you're speaking of.
Yes.
All right, we're going to pay a home inspector like Jay one time. How long do these discounts typically last?
So, disclaimer is 5 years.
Okay.
With that disclaimer being said, I have been in insurance for 17 years. Since the wind mitigation discounts have been released.
When she was 2. All right, go ahead.
Since these discounts have been released and into play in insurance, I have yet to see an insurance company require somebody to get a new wind mitigation.
Oh, wow.
So,
good to know.
with that being said.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Great information. And I have to tell you,
Whether they're buying a house or just if you
Yes.
already own a home, I would definitely
Yes, absolutely.
have Jay come and take a look.
If you
So
haven't
let's-
done one, do it.
yeah,
Yes.
if you should. And full disclosure, both Leaders Insurance and A-Snoop Inspections are sponsors of Moving Forward TV.
Yes.
And we're happy to have them
Welcome
as
on,
guests.
Jay.
Glad to be here.
They're great. And if, we're not saying you need to use these people, but truly they're very knowledgeable in what they do. Angel knows more about construction than I ever know. I mean, I know about my toenail. That's it. So it's all good. So they're professionals.
And they are certainly here to help answer your questions.
Absolutely. Make sure you align yourself with a mortgage professional, an insurance professional, and
Absolutely.
a home inspector before you buy that ultimate dream home of yours. Get your team lined up. So real quick, community events. The only thing we have coming up with WPBA is the Lightning Bus Trips.
Which is almost sold out.
Yeah, April 6th. Go on WPBA for updates, WPBA.biz for any more information.
Right.
And that's it.
So share us.
Share us, like us, get us out. LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, you call it.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you all watching, and thank you so much to our guests for being here with us.
Great guests.
And they will be back again, but please feel free to reach out to them or reach out to Barry and I, and we'll hook you up with them. So that's it for now. We are today and every day
Moving forward.
We'll see everybody next week.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye.